Once you move out of a certain perception and you're very separate from that perception, and you are re-encountering that perception over and over again because that perception has been a good portion of your experience in this reality, this experience, this experience. And then you have to keep revisiting that perception. Like you don't realize how difficult it is and how much patience it requires to interact with that old perception. Because just the energy of it makes you disgusted. And you automatically start having all these thoughts of like, man, you're such a dumbass. Man, you're just so fucking ignorant. Man, you are so behind in your evolution and connection. And yet you pretend like you're not. You pretend like you're up on it. Or are you pretending to pretend? That's the thing. Because you want to believe that these perceptions are not really that dumb, are not really that much of an idiot, are not really that stupid. Even in this reality, one of the most lower level perceptions there could be, we're still like thinking to ourselves, there's no way. Nah, that can't be legit. And it isn't legit on a level, But even here, you're like, no way. Nah. Like, for example, I watched Trump, right? And I'm like, how many women are still buying into this misogynistic play that keeps getting played out through this baby boomer masculine? How many women are still buying into it? Is it because you feel like you have no authority without a man like this representing you? Because that's what it is. You're saying, yes, this is going to be the representation of this reality, this experience. Like, how many women are okay with that? I'm not talking about him in the Epstein files. Let's remove all that. Just going based off of his communication and how he's always degrading women, even in his communication, even in his presentations, all of it, interacting with the people there, he is doing nothing but demeaning women. Even taking out the fact that he obviously has this fascination for men and the masculine energy solely. He has no respect for women, period. And there are so many women supporting this. That's how far removed some of us are from that perception. That was a perception a lot of us were locked into to help support this patriarchal system. And when we get removed from it, it's like, wow, women still are okay with that? Like, it's not just about being okay. It's like you're saying men are allowed to communicate and treat me like that. Men are allowed to treat my children like that and teach my daughter, my son, that the masculine that is DL is much more valuable than any other creation in this perception of experience. Any other perspective is not okay except for this reptilian-brained ignoramus, highly misogynistic, highly. Y'all are okay with that. I can't even relate to it. In fact, when that energy even comes near me and tries to dominate me and tries to use their voice as a means of control, as if they still have that control over me. Do you comprehend the amount of patience it takes to interact with y'all like that? Whether or not you're doing it on purpose just to trigger or get some kind of reaction, it requires a lot of fucking work to even interact or listen to anything that you fucking say, because it's that ignorant sounding to me and many of us. Once we're removed from it, you can't go back to it. It's almost to the point where it's like, we don't even have to communicate, because you're proclamation of evolution and connection of DNA within yourself to your higher self, and you've done the work. It's so evident that it isn't true. At least that's the story you put out there through your communication. You're not proving anything to anyone, and maybe you feel like you don't have to prove anything to anyone, but either way, you're not where you are, where you say you are. You're not there. You may think you're above all of it, and you're playing out this little role to create a trigger for people. But why even bother? Why even bother at this point? You think you're past it, but you're still playing it out, and that's how a lot of these roles are. In social media, in reality, period, is that we're still playing out these roles, but we're not really there. You know what I mean? We're just playing it out because that's what we play out well. At least that's the idea. But it doesn't mean that it's effective anymore. That's the point. It's not effective anymore. So there's got to be some other type of role that people can play out, like that is going to be more effective. I believe that we should find the most efficient way to move forward, because this is the same stuff. It's just the same. Yeah, it's different than what it once was, but we need to keep moving in a direction that's not what it is. We're still playing the same roles. We need to change the roles at least a little bit. They need to move in a direction.